Daniel had never been one for the supernatural. He laughed at ghost stories, rolled his eyes at horror movies, and scoffed when his grandmother warned him about the veil, the thin boundary between the living and the dead. But one October evening, walking home through the fog, he would learn that some laughter comes back to choke you. It happened suddenly. One moment he was on the familiar street outside his apartment, the next, silence swallowed the world. The air turned heavy, the fog blackened, and the lamps along the road flickered out. He stopped, heart hammering. The street was gone. In its place stretched a corridor of shifting shadows, walls breathing like lungs. "Where am I?" he whispered. His words didn't echo. Instead, they absorbed into the air, as if the place was listening, feeding. He walked, because standing still felt worse. The floor wasn't asphalt anymore, but something softer, like damp earth that pulsed under his shoes. Shapes drifted past him, pale, hollow figures with eyeless faces. They didn't look at him, yet he felt stripped bare in their presence. One brushed against him, and agony shot through his body. He stumbled, gasping, as memories bled out of him. His childhood birthday, his first kiss, his father's laugh, all dissolving like smoke. He staggered away, clutching his head. The figure floated on, unconcerned. "If I stay here, I'll lose myself." He forced himself to keep moving. The corridor opened into a vast plain, lit by a sickly light that seemed to come from nowhere. Thousands of those hollow beings wandered, murmuring without mouths, their whispers threading into his skull. "Stay. Join. End the wait." He covered his ears, but the whispers came from inside. He screamed, but the sound was devoured before it left his lips. Then, through the shifting masses, he saw something different. A figure cloaked in torn robes, face hidden, but radiating a presence that made the air curdle. The others avoided it, bowing their heads. Daniel froze as the figure turned toward him. "You do not belong," it rasped, voice like bones grinding together. I I want to go back," Daniel cried. The figure tilted its head. "Back? There is no back. The veil tore and you slipped through. Few ever return. Few are still intact." Daniel's chest tightened. He thought of his apartment, his job, the simple comfort of coffee in the morning. He wasn't ready to vanish into this place. "There must be a way," he pleaded. The figure stepped closer. Beneath the hood, he glimpsed a mouth sewn shut with black thread. It raised one skeletal hand and pointed behind him. Daniel turned and saw a faint, shimmering crack in the air, like fractured glass suspended in nothing. His way out. He bolted, but the ground seemed to stretch, every step heavier than the last. The whispering masses stirred, sensing his desperation. They began to follow, their movements jerky, predatory, their eyeless faces tilted toward him, and their whispers sharpened into screams. "Stay! Be ours!" Daniel ran harder. The crack grew brighter, widening as he neared. But the closer he came, the more the world resisted. Shadows clutched at his legs, pulling him down. Memories peeled from his mind, dissolving into the air. He saw his mother's face fade, his own reflection blur. "No!" he roared, forcing himself forward. The cloaked figure raised its hand again. A violent wind tore through the plain, hurling Daniel to his knees. The crack flickered, threatening to vanish. He crawled every inch an eternity. His fingernails split against the ground, blood slicking his hands. Behind him, the hollow beings surged, shrieking, reaching. One seized his ankle, cold as the grave, dragging him back. Daniel screamed, kicking wildly, but more hands clawed at him, pulling him toward their endless murmur. In a final burst of panic, he dug his fingers into the glowing fracture and yanked himself through. The world exploded in light. He landed hard on cold pavement, The street lamps glowed again. Cars hissed by, and the fog was just fog. He lay trembling, gasping, clutching at his head. His memories, were they still his? He checked frantically. His name, his apartment, his job. Yes, they were there. But something else was missing, a hole he couldn't name. And then he realized he couldn't remember his grandmother's face. He staggered to his feet, shaking violently. People passed without noticing his state, but in every shadow he saw the after-image of eyeless figures, waiting, whispering, watching. The veil hadn't closed behind him. It had thinned, and it wanted him back.